is led by the UPDF Artillery Division. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, what you are seeing now in front of you is some of the UPDF arms that have joined the parade at this point, led by the UPDF Artillery Division. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, the story of the UPDF has been told for a long time, but every time the story is as fascinating to listen to as the first time. The UPDF traces its humble beginnings to the National Resistance Army, a small guerrilla force that launched a protracted people's struggle in February 1981 under the indefatigable leadership and visionary leader of the resistance, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni. This was a small and tiny group of fighters, 42 in number, 27 armed, which attacked Kabamba on February 6, 1981. In 1986, the NRA became the National Army, and upon the adoption of the 1995 Constitution, was renamed the Uganda People's Defense Forces. The NRA, now UPDF, has transformed over the years, and these are some of the very modern equipment in the possession of the Uganda People's Defense Forces that has ensured we keep the peace and security in our country and contribute to regional peace and stabilization operations. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, in front of you are still elements of the UPDF Artillery Division. Today, the UPDF is a very robust and modern, powerful military force that has achieved many things over the years. The peace and security, which I just talked about, anchored on key modernization and professionalization themes such as equipped and trained for combat and peace support operations. And indeed, what you see here are some of those arms that define the UPDF as a modern, experienced combat force that is ready to do its job. The Field Artillery Division is commanded by Major General Daniel Kakono. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, right now in front of you are elements of the Motorized Infantry Division of the Uganda People's Defense Forces. These are armored fighting vehicles, very important force multipliers on the battlefield that work closely with infantry troops to achieve our military objectives. These are elements of the Motorized Infantry Division. The UPDF is equipped and trained for combat, and we are ready for any assignment as guided by the President and the Commander-in-Chief. The UPDF has also greatly enhanced its rapid deployment capability and our ability to sustain the tempo of operations in any environment. As you can see, the different arms of the UPDF imply the UPDF's well-attained capability to conduct joint combined operations, enhancing our interoperability between the different services and arms, and ensuring we keep at pace with modern technology systems. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, these are still elements of the UPDF Motorized Infantry Division. As a modern, well-constituted and organized People's Army, the UPDF is made up of 4 services. We have the Land Forces, the Air Forces, the Special Forces Command, and the Reserve Force. The UPDF Artillery Division and the Motorized Infantry Division are ground-based force multipliers that support the infantry to decisively achieve their military objective. The Uganda People's Defense Forces are well trained, well equipped, and there is no task that is too difficult for the UPDF to achieve. Indeed, as a reminder, and especially as information for some of our visitors today, the NRA, now Uganda People's Defense Forces, since the 1995 Constitution, has decisively defeated close to 30 insurgent groups that sought to destabilize the hard-won peace and stability in our country. We are aware that our immediate post-independence history was nothing but volatile, a period of great instability that was characterized by military dictatorships and governments of the day that had no respect for human rights, that instituted state-inspired violence against defenseless citizens. And as the Motorized Infantry Division concluded their march past, we are now joined, Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, by some of the UPDF anti-aircraft systems that have now also joined the parade. What you are seeing before you are some of the UPDF anti-aircraft systems. They supplement the efforts of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force to keep Uganda's airspace safe and secure, and to engage from the ground hostile objects in the air within the territory of the Republic of Uganda. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, the functions of the Defense Forces include the preservation and defense of our sovereignty and territorial integrity of this country. And as you can see, we are well equipped to undertake that function. We also cooperate with and support the civilian authority in national emergencies and other disasters. And most importantly, we promote and foster strong harmony, understanding between the Defense Forces and the wananchi. Your Excellencies, before you are still some of the systems of the Uganda People's Defense Forces and aircraft capabilities. They are part of this parade. Any moment now, we will also witness the dropping of paratroopers on these very grounds. The other arm of the UPDF, the Uganda People's Defense Air Force, will also join the parade any moment from now, approaching these parade grounds from the eastern direction. From its early beginnings and its inception, the UPDF has been built on a strong foundation of discipline, ethics, and accountability. We respect the rule of law, we respect human rights, and we adhere to our military code of conduct. And those who fail to keep pace with the laws of Uganda and those of the military, we have our justice systems that ensure we remain a disciplined and accountable force. And perhaps our strongest and most important force multiplier is our strong civil military cooperation. The UPDF is because of the strong support we get from the wananchi, but also quite significant has been the consistent and visionary support and the guidance of His Excellency the President and the Commander-in-Chief, General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, that has turned us into what we are. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests here, our paratroopers are already airborne. Our paratroopers are already airborne, and they will be landing on these very grounds. In 1986, and even in the 1990s, the UPDF did not have any special forces, let alone paratroopers to talk about.
This one's up with you instructing the people there so they can come down.
And in this respect, I want to salute the Chief of Defense Forces and Senior Presidential Advisor, General Museveni Sworn, who was for a long time the commander of the Special Forces Command, and who oversaw the development and improved capability of Uganda's Special Forces and the paratroopers whom we are about to see land on these very, very special ceremonial grounds here at Kololo. Our paratroopers are already airborne. Those who have and still possess good sight have probably already seen some, and they are descending here in a very controlled and orderly fashion. These are your own sons and daughters. Paratroopers, a very important element of the Special Forces Command. Mwena batulaba Abannayuganda abali wano n'abagenyi baffe abakulu, yonna gye muli, tuli ku mukolo wano e Kololo Ceremonial Grounds, mukolo mukulu, mukolo munene ogubadde gw'okulayiza omukulembeze w'eggwanga ayalondebwa n'Abannayuganda mu ngeri nnene nnyo ng'ayina 71.65% ey'obululu bwonna. Paredi yaffe eyekkatiddwako n'ebimu ebibinja ebikulu bya UPDF okubadde Artillery Division eduumirwa Major General Daniel Kakono, the Motorized Infantry Division eduumirwa Major General Charles Byanyima, UPDF and Aircraft Systems eziduumirwa Brigadier General Kasawuli, aba paratroopers, aba UPDF, abaduumirwa Special Forces Command, Commander wa Special Forces gyali wano Major General David Mugisha ng'ayambibwako mumyuka we Brigadier General Asaf Nyakikuru ne Parade Commander aduumira ekibinja ekisooka kya Special Forces Group Brigadier General John Bosco Singuza, era nga ye Parade Commander olunaku olwaleero. UPDF ezimbye obukugu n'obumalirivu nti tusobola okukuuma eggwanga lyaffe bulungi. So waliwo omu paratrooper alandidde wano munamagye wa atuuse avudde mu bbanga. Buno bwe bukugu bwe tugamba obwa UPDF bwerina, era nga ebibinja bino byonna ebya UPDF bikolaganira wamu okulaba nti tukuuma eddembe mu ggwanga lyaffe ne mu operation zonna ze tubeeramu mu mirirwana gyaffe okulaba nti tulina eddembe mu nsi yaffe n'abalirwana baffe. UPDF twagala si ggwanga lyokka, naye tulina n'obuvunaanyizibwa bw'okulaba nti tukolera awamu nga Africa okukuuma eddembe n'okulaakulanya kontinenti yaffe eya Africa. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, we've seen some of our paratrooper commandos who are landing. They descended from very high in the skies and they have joined the parade, and they were indeed part of the parade. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, some of the air platforms of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force that I talked about earlier are inbound. They are approaching these parade grounds from the eastern direction. They are approaching these grounds from the eastern direction. They are led by the Cobra formation. The Cobra formation is composed of one Mi-17 helicopter piloted by Colonel Hassan Waiswa, and he is the pilot in command. It is in the front and it is carrying the national flag. We have another Mi-17 helicopter in the rear, and we have two escort attack helicopters, one Mi-24 helicopter gunship on the right and one Mi-28 helicopter gunship on the left. They are also part of the parade. And the pilot in command, Colonel Hassan Waiswa, has a message for His Excellency the President. That was Colonel Hassan Waiswa. He has congratulated His Excellency the President for assuming the highest office in the land. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the different arms on display of the Uganda People's Defense Forces indicate our acquired capabilities to engage in joint combined operations. These elements work together to achieve one military objective. Here we have the helicopters in Cobra formation. Here they are, and they are part of the parade activities. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, the Cobra formation is followed by the Sparrow formation. The Uganda People's Defense Air Force has different types of aircraft for different tasks, for different assignments, and all of them work together in mission. Aircraft. We have combat aircraft of all types. We have surveillance aircraft of all types. And we have aircraft for different combat roles. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, approaching the parade grounds is the Sparrow formation of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force. And they are part of the parade. parade is still ongoing with the participation of these select UPDF arms. And right now what we are watching before us is the Uganda People's Defense Air Force platforms. The Sparrow formation is followed by the Eagle formation. All these aircrafts, ladies and gentlemen, are piloted by Ugandan pilots, well trained, they know their job, and all Ugandans, wherever you are, you should be very proud of what your sons and daughters have been able to achieve. For instance, the pilot in command is Colonel Hassan Waiswa, a senior pilot. We have other pilots in helicopters we earlier saw, and flying overhead are the Eagle formation, also of the Uganda People's Defense Air Force. Your Excellencies and distinguished guests, next on display from the Uganda People's Defense Air Force is the Puma formation. The Puma formation is inbound here on the parade grounds. Puma 1, piloted by Captain Nathan Mwebaza, the pilot in command. Puma 2, piloted by Captain Ronald Baluku, the pilot in command. Puma 3, piloted by Captain Ronald Bogere, pilot in command. And Puma 4, piloted by Captain Stephen Bainomujisa, the pilot in command. And here they are, Puma formation. Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we will have one of the Puma 4 aircraft coming back here on the parade grounds to conduct some maneuvers. And as I will remind you, the Uganda People's Defense Forces is composed of 4 services: the land forces, the air forces, the special forces, and the reserve force. All the 4 different services of the Uganda People's Defense Forces have been on display this afternoon. Puma 4 is here, one of our elite pilots. Puma 4, piloted by Captain Stephen Bainomujisa. Puma 4 is coming for one more round. And Puma 4 will be followed by the Tiger Sukhoi. And it is also inbound on this very significant and special ceremonial grounds. It is here and will be joining the parade any moment from now. Puma 4 is coming to exit and will be followed by the Tiger Sukhoi. Puma 4 is now exiting the parade grounds. Quite impressive indeed. Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the last presentation from the Uganda People's Defense Air Force, the Tiger Sukhoi, and here it is on the parade grounds. Parade ground and is piloted by Lieutenant Emmanuel Sajabi, the pilot in command, and he is co-pilot. Is Lieutenant Sam Mwasiwe. There it is, Lieutenant Emmanuel Sajabi and Lieutenant Sam Mwasiwe in charge of the Tiger Sukhoi. The Tiger Sukhoi Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, this marks the end of the parade. We thank His Excellency, the President of the Democratic Republic of Congo, who joined us on this very special occasion and who is bidding us farewell. But the function continues. Back to the parade commander.